Good morning. Is everybody there? I see you all coming in. You're all very, very welcome. Thank you so much for coming along. Can I first of all get a high five? Can you all just go high five? Because it's day 5 of Farm Safety Week. Now, I know a week goes on for 7 days. So for tomorrow and Sunday, Farm Safety is over to you guys and for all the weeks after. Very, very welcome to this, the last of the AgriKids Flogas Farm Safety Week webinars. You guys have been amazing all week. My name is Alma, and we all know what kind of mission I'm on. I want all of you guys to become my experts in farm safety. And to be an expert in farm safety, you've got to be an AgriKid. You do. But when you are an AgriKid, when you are an expert in farm safety, then you get to boss the grown-ups around. Yeah, you get to tell them what to do, what to say, how to behave when they're on a farm. Because sometimes the grown-ups forget a little bit. So this week we've been talking about signage, we've been talking about animals, talking about slurry. So for today, we're going to talk about, well, my son's favorite, tractors and machinery. Okay, so let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. The chat isn't open, but I want all your chat to go into the questions and answers, along with any questions and answers that you want to say. And guys, if you just want me to even say hello to you or tell me where you're from, that's brilliant, because I'll be saying hello to you all as we go out throughout the presentation. I want to say hello to so many people. Okay, and also, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to know what your favorite tractor is. Now, yesterday, with the 8 to 12-year-olds, it was pretty much neck and neck between John Deere and New Holland. One person, Landini, that's all they wanted to know about, loved them. So I want you guys to tell me what kind of tractors you like as we go along in the presentation. And I see, let's actually do a quick practice, by the way. Can you all put your hands up so you'll see where the hands up button is? Yeah, well done. People putting their... You guys got this. You guys got this. This is no problem for you guys. So let's do a quick hello and shout out to Megan Keaveney. Hi to you and Glenn and Maddie. Great to see you. To all the Clancys in Tipperary. Bobby Clancy, you're tuning in. How are you with Dad Noel? Hi, Noel. Bobby loves machinery, especially John Deere. Well, Bobby, I kind of heard about that. So I made sure to have a John Deere with me. I heard all about your graw of the John Deere, so absolutely. Keen Cashman, Massey. Hello to Kayla and Ushin in Knockbreed and Cavan. Favourite tractor is the John Deere. I see where this is going today. Michael Stevens in Tipperary as well. Favourite tractor is a New Holland. It is on, guys. It is on. Hello to Gavin enlisting in North Wales. Favourite tractor is a Class. Gavin, I have a Class dealership not that far away from me. They're going to be delighted to know that you're tuning in today. Hello to Charlotte James and to Tommy Murphy. You guys are all really, really welcome. So without further ado, let's get this on the road. What kind of things are we going to be talking about today? Well, we got to talk about these things. The PTO, and look, all the way down here, I even have one with me to talk about a little bit later on. Is that okay? We're going to find out what they do, why we have them, and why we got to be careful on them. Can you all start waving? Say hello to Alan. This is Alan on the quad bike on our farm. Polly the horse, looking for her breakfast as per usual. That's Alan on our quad bike, wearing his helmet. We'll be talking about that. And definitely, we're going to be talking about these. We got a case there, we got a New Holland there. We're going to be talking all about tractors. But before any of that, I hope you guys are nice and comfy. Hope all the listening ears are switched on. Because we're going to be making our 3rd trip back to Riverside Farm. And we're going to find out today about Tom and Sarah and Mr. Brambles and all about the red tractor, which I'm not sure. I think it could be a Massey. It might also be a McCormick. I'm not sure. Well, let's find out what happened. It was autumn on Riverside Farm. The leaves were turning brown and the days were getting shorter. All the apples, pears and blackberries were ready to be picked and baked into jam and delicious tarts. Autumn is a yummy time of the year. Tom and Sarah were outside playing football with Meg the sheepdog. Well, at least they were trying to play football with Meg the sheepdog, but she kept running off with the ball. "Come back, Meg," called Sarah. Meg charged off with the ball in her mouth and went straight around the corner, with Tom and Sarah running after her, and unfortunately crashed straight into poor Mammy, who was carrying an enormous basket of washing. Crash, bang, thud. The basket and laundry went straight up into the air and all over the ground. Poor Mammy sat on the ground with a pair of Tom's tractor socks dangling over her head. Tom and Sarah couldn't stop giggling. Mammy looked a bit silly with socks hanging off her head. "Have you guys not got anything else to do while I hang out the washing?" said Mummy. "Sorry, Mum," said the children, still kind of giggling. The children helped Mammy to tidy up. And when they'd done that, Mammy handed them each a bucket and said, "Right, you two, there's loads and loads and loads of blackberries all over those bushes. I want you to go and pick me some. Pick me as many as you can, because later on we can make some blackberry tarts." "Yummy," said the children. They loved blackberry tarts. "But remember," said Mammy, "only pick the black ones. The red ones will give us all a tummy ache." The children gathered up their scooters and the buckets and went off to where all the blackberry bushes were. They said, "I wonder if Mr. Brambles is going to be around today. I mean, I hear autumn is his busiest time." Dum-de-dum-de diddly-doo. Mr. Brambles was being very, very busy, because autumn is their busiest time. They've got to turn all the green leaves to brown again. Then they've got to help all the pears grow and the apples grow and all the blackberries grow. Not to mention all those green fields have to be turned to golden. It's a very busy time for hedge sprites. Using his special magic blackbird's feather, Mr. Brambles tipped and tapped all the red berries on the bushes to make them black, shiny and very juicy. "Wow," he says, "look at all the berries this year. The birds are going to have loads to eat. And I reckon there'll still be some left over for me and Mrs. Brambles to make some of our blackberry jam." "Whoa," said Tom when he saw all the bushes. "There must be 1,000,000 blackberries here." "More like 2,000,000, said Sarah. Her tummy was rumbling as she thought about all the blackberry tarts they were going to be able to make. "Mr. Brambles must be here," said Sarah, "because look at all the berries." The children found the spot with the most berries. It was right beside the gate to the black field. "Hello, Mr. Brambles, are you there?" called Sarah. "Yes," said Mr. Brambles. "Of course I am. I'm over here." "Oh, it's great to see you," said Sarah. "It's been quite a while since we've seen you." "I know," said Mr. Brambles. "I'm sorry. I have been very busy, you know." "Whoa," said Tom. "Look at that berry." Tom reached over to grab a blackberry, but it wasn't a blackberry. "No, Tom," said Mr. Brambles. "That one is still far too red." Mr. Brambles took his magic blackbird's feather and flew up to where the red berry was, gave it a special tap and a special wave, and turned the red berry into the blackest, shiniest, juiciest berry Tom had ever seen. Thank you, Mr. Brambles," said Tom as he gobbled it up. The children were distracted by the sound of Daddy's red tractor, which they could hear in the far-off distance. "Oh no," said Mr. Brambles. "I can't let grown-ups see me. They're no fun, and they don't even believe in magic." Can you imagine that? Not believing in magic? I'm sorry about that, Mr. Brambles. "You two have loads of fun. I've got a lot of work to do over in the far orchard." And with that, Mr. Brambles disappeared. Daddy and Jack had quite a lot of work to do as well, you know. They were going into the back fields to fix some of the fencing. Some of the wood had gotten loose and a little bit rotten, and some gaps had appeared, gaps big enough for a lamb or a sheep to wiggle through and get lost. In the bucket of the tractor, they had everything that they needed, like wire and nails, a big sledgehammer, and some wooden posts. Daddy drove the tractor up the hill to the top of the field. He turned off the engine, and Jack the farmhand hopped out. "Don't forget the handbrake," said Jack. "We don't want the red tractor to roll down the hill." "I won't," said Daddy. He pulled up the handle and click went the handbrake. Tom and Sarah waved at Daddy and Jack as they worked, so they knew that they were over at the hedge. And soon the children got to work, filling their buckets and their bellies. In no time at all, Daddy and Jack had the first part of the field done. "We're going to be done in no time," said Daddy, as they drove the tractor to the other side of the field. Jack hopped out, "Don't forget the handbrake," he said again. "I won't," said Daddy. Click went the handbrake. From the far end of the field, Tom was watching Daddy and Jack as they did their work. It looked like loads of fun, and Tom was getting a bit bored of blackberry picking. "Dad," he asked, "can I sit in the red tractor and watch as you fix the fence?" "Okay," said Daddy, "but you're not to touch a thing." "I won't," said Tom. "I promise I won't touch a thing." Tom got into the red tractor and sat in Daddy's seat. He said, "Look at all the lights. Look at all the buttons." It was getting quite tempting looking at all the flashing, twinkling little lights and buttons. "Ooh, what's that?" said Tom. He pressed a button at the end of a long lever, and click, the lever went down. With a loud groan, the red tractor began to roll down the hill. "The tractor!" shouted Jack. "Tom must have let off the handbrake." "Daddy, Daddy!" shouted Tom. "What do I do? What do I do?" The tractor began to roll down the hill and picked up speed the quicker it went down. Soon it was going too fast for Daddy and Jack to catch it. Faster and faster it went, heading straight for the bushes where Sarah was still picking blackberries. "Tom, Tom!" shouted Daddy. "We're coming, we're coming." "Oh no!" shouted Dad. "They're going towards the hedge." "Sarah!" shouted Daddy. Sarah looked up, her face covered in blackberry bushes. She gasped in horror as the red tractor was zooming straight down the hill and right towards the blackberry bush where she was. Daddy and Jack were running behind, waving their arms. The wooden posts and tools were scattered all over the field. Tom clung onto the seat as the tractor rolled over bumps and through holes. He was very frightened and was sure he was going to crash. But Sarah knew what to do. There was only one person that could save them now. As the tractor got closer and closer and closer to the bush, Sarah closed her eyes and used the magic words. "Should you ever be in fear, call 3 times and I will hear. Mr. Brambles, Mr. Brambles, Mr. Brambles." And suddenly a ball of light flew past Sarah's eyes and straight into the red tractor. "Sarah!" cried Daddy again. The tractor was now just a few meters away from Sarah when suddenly it turned sharply and went in the opposite direction and was now heading straight towards the field gate. Jack couldn't believe his eyes. "Who's driving the tractor? How did it change direction?" "It must be Tom," shouted Daddy. "Thank goodness." The red tractor was now heading straight towards the yard gate when suddenly the gate swung open and the tractor drove straight through, rolled into the yard and came to a complete stop. "How did that gate open?" cried Jack. "I don't know," said Daddy. "The wind must have blown it open." Daddy and Jack, huffing and puffing, ran straight into the farmyard. "Tom," said Dad, "I told you not to touch anything." "Well, I didn't know you knew how to steer a tractor." Tom hadn't driven the tractor at all. He had no idea how to steer a tractor. It had been Mr. Brambles and hedge sprite magic that had saved the day. Daddy lifted Tom down from the tractor. "From now on," he says, "you're only playing with toy tractors, not the real ones." Daddy went to help Jack pick up all the tools that had been scattered all over the field. As soon as Daddy was out of sight, Mr. Brambles appeared. "Whew," he said, "that was a close one. You two could have been so badly hurt." "But we're okay, thanks to you," whispered Sarah. The children picked up their buckets full of blackberries and their scooters and headed for home. It was time to make some of their delicious blackberry tarts. Later that day, Mr. Brambles smelled something really, really nice. "Ooh, what's that delicious smell?" he wondered. He poked his head out through his little hedge house, following where the scent was coming from. And right out the front, he saw the most gorgeous, delicious tart. It was golden on the outside and full of yummy blackberries. Beside the tart was a little card with a picture of Mr. Brambles, Meg, Tom, and Sarah painted on the front. And inside were the words, "Thank you." "Wow," said Mr. Brambles. "What lovely friends I have with Tom and Sarah. Oh, what a lucky little chap I am to live on Riverside Farm." He picked up his little treat and flew back to the farmyard to enjoy it in the autumn sun. Jack was also in the farmyard. He was checking over the red tractor to make sure there would be no damage done. He was still trying to work out how the tractor had suddenly changed direction and how the gate had suddenly swung open. I don't know, he said. There's something funny going on around here. I mean, first I saw a flying bull, and I'm pretty sure I saw a flying bull. And now a tractor that can drive itself and a gate that just swings open as if by magic? Could there be something magical about Riverside Farm? No, he chuckled to himself. Don't be so silly, Jack. Jack went off to finish off his duties. Meanwhile, on top of the red tractor, Mr. Brambles was sitting on the roof, munching happily on his blackberry tart. Oh, it's magic all right, Jack, he said with a grin. Head sprite magic. So guys, wasn't Tom very lucky? Our tractor is something that we play in. I want you all to show me your number one. Can you all show me your number one finger? Let's give it a little workout because we're going to have to use this finger a lot now today, all right? Because tractors, guys, are the number one danger. So we're going to start off talking a little bit about tractors because this is really important stuff. Tractors and machinery are our number one danger. And it's really important we know how to be safe, careful, and sensible whenever there's a tractor about. Tractors are important though, aren't they? Look at the work that they have to do on our farms. Spreading slurry, mowing, ploughing. They're going to be pulling trailers loaded of corn very, very soon as well. I mean, tractors are really important on our farms. We have to have them. But the tractors nowadays are pretty huge. In fact, the tractor we have on our farm, the back wheel, it's bigger than me. Now, I know I'm not massive. I mean, I'll stand up. But I'm pretty tall. Yeah. I might be taller than you are. So if that tire is bigger than me, it's definitely bigger than you guys. And the fact that we're only here and I have to sit in here means I'm sitting really high up. In fact, this is a sign that we use on our farm whenever tractors are busy. It's a warning sign letting people know, careful, tractors are busy. And I'm sitting inside here, inside the cab, driving away. And I'm thinking of all the work I have to do. I am. I'm not wondering, do you know what? I wonder if Bobby is somewhere close by, or I wonder if Sophie is somewhere near, or I wonder if Charlie is coming up the back. No, I'm thinking of all the work I have to do, fields I have to plough, maybe sheep I have to move, bales I have to bring out, okay? I'm not thinking who might be hanging around my tractor. So it's really important that when I'm sitting up here, and I might be sitting up towards the roof, really high up, so it's important to know what I can see and what I can't see. What I can see is what's in front of me. Directly in front is pretty good, but I can't see anything that's around the tractor towards the ground. Definitely can't see you. So the nearer you are to a tractor, the least likely I can see you. So it's really important that we all make sure when we can hear the engine on, that we're all well back and we stay back until the tractor has its job done. Okay? Now, it's very important where to be when a tractor you see. You see this little girl here? That's me. And this is my brother Derek and my sister Emily. And my mother was so excited that we were wearing a dress that she took a picture. It was the 80s, guys. We didn't take a lot of pictures back then. We didn't have phones and stuff like that could take pictures. So it was an important day when the camera got taken out in our house. But you see our tractor behind? My dad was doing hay at this time of the year. And that was a little international tractor that we had back then. Like it's pretty big. And that was a tractor that I grew up with, and we thought that tractor was huge. You want to see the kind of tractor we have now? You ready? Small, big, small, big. It's huge. So this is, look, we're going to go out sowing. Yeah, and even like when we were little, we were making little square bales, you know, the little ones to feed our cattle and maybe to sell on if we had too much, which was always good. But the bales we do now are the big, huge ones, big, tall ones. So everything is bigger, and the bigger something is, the harder it is to see out of it. So let's see what it looks like when farmers are sitting inside their tractor. Excuse me, did a bird just do a poo-poo on my tractor? How very rude. Ew. But this is me sitting inside, and look, I can see brilliant straight ahead, great view. But I can't really see what's going on here or down here or when I put the loader on, I can't see what's going on here. So the nearer you are, the least likely I can see you. And even with a big mirror, I can see the seagulls eating some worms, but I can't see what might be going on over here or over here. So these are all the blind spots around a tractor. So it's important where to be when a tractor you see. And where you don't be is here or here, because we can't see you. And remember, we won't be able to hear you either, because that's pretty much soundproofed in there. And I probably have the radio on, or I probably have some earmuffs on. Very hard to hear you. Okay? So, do me a little favor. If you're kind of standing at a gate, or you're standing at the fence looking at the tractor doing its work, do me a little favor and let the farmer know you're standing at the gate or standing at the fence. Now you can't talk, we can't hear you. But what you can do is wave. So show me all how you're going to wave at the farmer to get their attention. Show me. You have to be a good bit back so the farmer can see you. So can I have two hands going, everybody? Okay, I want to see everybody waving in Wales. I want to see everybody waving in Scotland. I want to see everybody waving in Britain. And I want to see everybody waving in Ireland. Come on, give me big, big waves. And when the farmer's waving back or goes beep, beep, then you know that we've seen you. Now, as AgriKids, very important, you know, to stay back from moving tractors. Remember, the number one. But what also is really important is this. Hands up if you put on a seatbelt when you get inside a car. Let's see who wears seatbelts inside the car. Let's have a look at this. Tommy Murphy does. Good man, Tommy. Well done. Loads and loads of you. Absolutely amazing. Give yourselves a big clap. Very important we put on our seatbelts inside a car, isn't it? Let's practice it. Are you ready? We're going to practice how to put on our seatbelts. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Click. Wasn't that easy? So here's the thing. Try this. If you know of any farmers with tractors, okay, ask them if they have a seatbelt inside their tractor, because I know not all tractors will have them. But if they do have a seatbelt, do you think they should be putting it on? Hands up if you think they should be putting it on. Let's see. Yeah, I knew you guys are going to be brilliant, AgriKids. Brilliant, because by putting on our seatbelts, the cap is called the safety zone. So when I'm driving my tractor, I want to be sure that I stay in the safety zone, okay? And by putting on your seatbelt, it keeps you inside your seat. It keeps you safe and sound inside the safety zone. So if the tractor was to rock list or fall to one side, wouldn't go out a window. The window here is open here, or out a door, if the door was loose. Or if it toppled over, we'd be kept inside that safety zone and wouldn't be thrown out or thrown around the cab, okay? So by just taking a couple of seconds to put on our seatbelt will make a big difference, huge difference. And here it is, look, that's Walter. Say a big hi. There, can everybody wave at my pal Walter here? Great man putting on the seatbelt. And this is my husband Mark putting on his seatbelt. And here's me with the seatbelt. So it's really important that we always buckle up, okay? Now, let's see how our tractor poll is going. Hello to Florence and Iris. Their favorite tractor is a John Deere. My goodness, I am seeing a bit of a trend here. Anya and Sean near Mitchelstown, they have John Deere's, but Daddy has a Massey Ferguson. Do you have a tractor all of your own? If your daddy has a Massey, but you have a John Deere, does Daddy get a bit jealous, or does your daddy prefer a Massey Ferguson? Hello to Neve and MJ in Michel, or is it Michel? It's in Carlow, isn't it? I used to live in Carlow. My favorite tractor is a Zetter, and my uncle has one. We used to have a Zetter years ago, Tommy. I couldn't agree more. JP and Lottie in Wexford, say hi as well. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. What else do we have to talk about today, I wonder? Oh, yes. Now, I had a great idea, right? I thought, since we were talking about tractors, maybe we should learn a little bit more about how we can help the farmer do their tractor checklist. Have you ever heard of a tractor checklist? Hands up if you've ever heard of the tractor checklist. And look, I even have a little pen and paper here with me to help me with the checklist. Okay? Yeah? Well, the checklist is a great thing. It's what farmers do to make sure their tractor is in good working order. Okay, so we're going to do a little look at our tractor and make sure the things we need working are in good working nick. So it's all those important things that we need to look at that make our tractors go and keep our tractors working well. So here's our tractor today. I think it could be a New Holland. They just took the branding off. Somebody wants to know, was it a Fiat or a Ford? I think it could be New Holland. Okay, we're having a look here. And when farmers are driving tractors, there's 4 things we need to be able to do. We need to be able to see when we're driving our tractor. We need to be able to make our tractor go. And if we make our tractor go, then we need to make sure we can make our tractor stop. And also, we need to make sure that nothing happens to us when we're driving our tractor. We don't trip or fall or slip or anything silly like that. So they're 4 very important things, aren't they? So when we're driving our tractors, what helps us see? Well, the lights. Yes, that's a good one. So check the lights. Yeah, lights are definitely working. Done a nice big tick for that one. And if the lights at the front are working, then we need the lights at the back working too. Okay, tick. Now, what else? Oh, I see another one. That beacon. When it's going down maybe a road or a laneway with high hedges, it's really important that we see our flashing beacon, especially at night time. And when we're in harvest time, like we are pretty much now, tractors and combines are going to be working late. So we've got to make sure all those lights are working, because those machinery are going to be on the road. And other drivers and other road users need to be able to see them. And us drivers need to make sure that we can see other people and where we're going. So lights are really important. Is it just lights that help us see? The windows. Remember the bird, the little poo on the bonnet of my tractor? Well, it's okay that it was on the bonnet, but if it was on the windows and the glass, we need to make sure we keep them clean, because farms, we have a lot of poo, don't we? And we have a lot of mud, and we do. I know we do. So it's really important that we keep all that glass nice and clean so we can see. And you know, these mirrors, kind of hard to see there, but those mirrors, right, they're on a long arm and they're going out to the back of the tractor to give us as much vision and as much viewing capability as we can. Okay, so it's really important that they're really clean, and 2, that they're not broken or cracked or have fallen out. If you don't have those mirrors, pretty much impossible to see what's going on behind you. You'll have to actually look behind you and take your eyes off the road, which we don't like to do. So let me see, lights, yeah, front and back, beacon, mirrors and windows. Okay, got all that ticked off there. Fantastic. So how do farmers make their tractor go? What helps them make the tractor go? Let me think. Oh yeah, I'll bring in my John Deere here. What's underneath the bonnet? What's underneath the bonnet, guys? The engine, isn't it? And in there is where all the clever stuff happens to make our tractor go. We have, you know, batteries, and we have the engine, and we have all the fuses, and that's where we have to make sure we have fuel, and we have to make sure we have oil so nothing seizes up, and has to have water so it doesn't get too hot, especially during harvest time. Make sure everything is working tickety-boo. So our engine is good. Sorry, down my checklist. We got my checklist, yeah. So engine, tick, that's fine. What else helps the tractor go though? The tires. Nothing is worse than when you know you have a slow puncture or a flat tire. Do you remember at the Brown Bull story, Daddy had a flat tire on the red tractor, and he forgot to hang up the sign to warn people about the black bull. So it's really important we always keep an eye on our tires and make sure they're in good working order. So we better do a big tick there for tires, because our tires aren't good and our tractor isn't good. Okay, so that's very good. So if the tractor can go, are we sure we can stop it? What makes a tractor stop? Well, what did Tom do when he sat inside the red tractor? He let off the handbrake. So the brakes are really important for making the tractor stop, isn't it? And the brakes are in there, so make sure we have our brake fluid and they're all in good working order. Okay, and also, even though the tires help the tractor go, we also need them to help us stop. So they need loads of good grip, so we don't have little ball tires that might slip on oil or mud or something like that. So really important that our tractor can stop and our tractor can go. Okay, brilliant. Now the last one, the warning. Do you remember yellow and black signs? They're a warning sign, aren't they? So what do we have to be careful of that we don't slip or trip or fall in our tractor? Let me see. Oh yes, you know the pedals inside here. Now, it's not a good idea to throw loads of rubbish like bottles and stuff. We're all going to be drinking loads of water during harvest time to keep ourselves nice and hydrated because it can get very hot. But we don't throw our water bottles onto the ground because they could roll around the cab and maybe get lodged under or blocked under or jammed under one of the pedals, and then we can't push it down. My husband one day, look, he drank his bottle of water and he thought he put it here, but he didn't, and it fell onto the ground, onto the floor of the cab without him knowing, and it rolled and it went under a pedal. But thankfully it was soft plastic and he was able to still put the pedal down by squashing the bottle. But if that bottle had been fuller, he mightn't have been able to stop the tractor because the water would have kept the plastic out, wouldn't it? So you know what he does now? He's a little bin, a little box just behind his seat in the tractor, and he puts all his rubbish in there so it's not running or making a nuisance of itself on the floor of the cab. Another thing we got to be careful of, remember the mud and the poo in the farm? Yeah, we keep our steps clean because if we don't, we could slip when we're getting up or coming down, and we don't want that to happen. We could fall forward or fall back. That wouldn't be good. Okay, so better tick those off. No slip or trip hazards allowed. Okay, so guys, that's a tractor checklist. You think you could have a chat with a few farmers about their own tractor checklist and maybe remind them of some of the things we spoke about here today. Oh, and I should add, don't worry if you think you're going to forget things that we talk about today. You won't, because I'm going to record this and put it up on YouTube so you can watch this as many times as you like. Isn't that cool? Okay. Now, that's all about tractors. On the back of tractors is something very important that we like to use, and it starts with P, T, and O. Now, I wonder in the questions and answers area, does anybody know what PTO stands for? I'll give you a few seconds to add it in, and I'll open up the Q&A here and see what it is. Megan's granddad, I think, has a class tractor. Hi from Connor McCandless. He's tractor mad, and Massey is his favourite. Do you know what? I think Massey is edging here between John Deere and Massey today, without a doubt. Megan, it's your granddad. Good man, and granddad has a class. Is it? I tell you, I was at a school one day, and the children wouldn't let me do the workshop until I admitted class tractors were the #1, better than all the rest. So there's a big fan club for class tractors, big time. Liam loves John Deere's and James loves New Holland's. Wow, guys. Gavin, all the way from Wales, good man yourself. It's a power takeoff. Congratulations. Keen Cashman, power takeoff. Bobby Clancy, power takeoff. Is a PTO, good man yourself. And Megan just wants everybody to know, is a class her #1? You guys are the best. It does indeed. PTO stands for power take off. Now, oh my God, a bit my parent. Whenever I go into school, guys, some boys and girls thinks this power takeoff is like a rocket launcher. They do, because I always put it up on my shoulder like that, and they go, oh, it's not a rocket launcher. I went, no, it's a PTO, power takeoff. And the thing with the PTO is, it's the bit here at the end. You see that? That's when we click into the back of the tractor. You see my little area here? You see that? That's when we click into the back. That's the little shaft. We call it a drive shaft, power shaft, okay? And when you hear the click, the little knob on the side there, you know you have it in correctly. As soon as you turn on your tractor, when it's attached correctly, this will start twisting and turning. You see that metal bar? That's twisting and turning really fast. It's turning anywhere between 9 or 16 times a second. You count to 9 in 1 second. No. And the reason why it's 9 or 16, it all depends on how fast or how powerful or the horsepower of your tractor, okay? So really fast. What do you think we use power takeoffs for? I mean, why do we have them? You know, combine harvesters, you know the header on the front that gathers up all the corn and the crop and everything? Yeah, that is powered by 2 PTOs. one on either side. Hedge cutters, they move, they take the power from the tractor to power the hedge cutter on the back. Mowers, you see, look, the tractor is on here, or the little, is that a golf course? You see here, it's taking the power from the little tractor and it's powering the mower. And look here, our rake or tedder, powered by a, you got it, PTO. So PTOs are very important, but we know we got to be really careful around them, because that bar, okay, turning so fast, we don't want any long hair, loose clothes, anything coming in contact with that, okay? So to make sure that doesn't happen, we always make sure our PTOs have a good cover on it. But the cover is not enough. You see these are covered here, the yellow covers, brilliant. But the covers are not enough. You see our chains? Got to be on too. So here's the chain on our PTO down in our farm. All right, when those chains are on, nothing is going to move on the outside. That's dead still. Meanwhile, inside the PTO, this is turning like crazy, really, really fast. And the reason why we keep it covered is to make sure this doesn't happen to anybody. Okay, I don't want anybody getting tangled up around a PTO. I have a very good friend called Peter Gothery, and he lost a leg in a PTO accident. And you know what Peter says to me now? He says, Alma, I should have had my PTO covered, but I didn't, and I paid the price for it. But Peter's a great man. Peter goes all over the country now, and he talks about how important it is not only to cover a PTO, but to look after all of our farm equipment, because he says if you've got bad tools, you do a bad job. So for example, guys, look at my pencil here. Is that a good pencil? Hands up who thinks that pencil is absolutely rubbish. Let's see. Look at my, it's very pretty. It's got lovely colours. Isn't it rubbish? Why is this pencil so bad? What's wrong with it? You can put into the questions and answers if you think you know what's wrong with my pencil. You know, what did I forget to do with my poor pencil? Eva Hickey loves New Hollands. What's wrong with my pencil? It needs to be pear, says Tommy Murphy. Yeah, Keen, it's no tip. Elaine Hickey, it's blunt. Guys, you're right. It's a bad pencil. I can't write with that. I didn't pair it. But look at this pencil. It's a great pencil, isn't it? This pencil I can use, because this pencil I looked after and I paired it. Bad tools, bad job. Good tools, good job. So look at this for a PTO cover. Hands up who thinks that is absolutely awful and needs to be taken off and replaced and gotten rid of. Can you all take some time out now to give yourselves a great big clap? Yeah, it's rubbish, isn't it? Awful. You see all the black? You grease a PTO, okay? You got to grease it to keep it moist so it can move, all right? And there's lovely little holes all around the PTO that I can put the grease in so I don't have to take it off. We didn't grease this enough. No, somebody forgot. It might have been me, but I don't think so. I don't think I would. And it got so hot, okay, and dry that this cracked and shattered. But if we just kept it greased correctly, it would have been fine. Now we caught this in time, it was taken off and replaced immediately. And these aren't even all that dear, maybe 20 to 60 euro. Maybe your friends in the UK could tell me how much it costs over there, but these are not expensive. And what they do would save a life, okay? It's really, really, really important. PTOs, great for helping us do our work, but no good if they're not covered, okay? Now, we've got one more area that we have to talk about today, and I'm going to introduce you all to my very good friend Noel. Say hi, Noel. Hands up if there is a quad bike on your farm. I'd love to know. Oh, I better put up my own hand. Yeah, we have a quad bike. It's a red one. I think they're all red, really, aren't they? Yeah. Loads of people have quad bikes. Well, my friend Noel knows loads about a quad bike, and he's very, very, very particular when it comes to a quad bike. He always wants to make sure that everybody stays super safe, okay? So there's something called a quad bike is also called an all-terrain vehicle, ATV. And I thought it might be really useful if we talk about ATVs, okay? Do you remember when you learned how to read and write? You learned your ABCs? Well, I thought with quads, we talk about ATVs, all right? So what age are you? You've got to be 16. Did you know that? To ride a quad bike that would be on a farm that we use on our farm. So age is A, and you have to be 16. T, training. You can't just hop up and go. You have to know what you're doing. We don't just pick up a book and read it. We've got to learn, don't we? So A for age, T for training, V. Noel says you got to check your quad bike every time you use it, okay? Make sure you got your fuel, make sure you got your oil, make sure the tires are okay. Bit like our tractor checklist, isn't it? And also check for any damage that might have happened, like if somebody reversed a tractor and clipped off the side of it and didn't tell anybody. I'm not mentioning any names, but I know who did it on our farm, okay? So we got to do a visual inspection. So A for age, T for training, V, visual inspection. S, super important. And this is something Noel is really, really a stickler for. Safety equipment. PPE, we all know what PPE is, don't we? Personal protective equipment. And Noel always says, you got to make sure when it comes to being on your quad bike, farmers got to wear their proper kit, their PPE, okay? And the number one for Noel is the helmet, okay? Look how, I can't hear myself. Look how hard that is, okay? But you know what? It's really, really light and it's really comfortable. And not only that, you see he has a visor. Yeah, I've got a visor too. And that means dust and bugs or whatever won't go into my eyes. They can hit off that, okay? So helmet, super, super important. What other stuff does Noel wear on his bike? Oh, now I thought he used to wear the sunglasses to look a bit cool, but no. If it's a bit sunny, it's a bit glary. So even when we're driving cars or just enjoying the sun, it's good to protect our eyes, and it helps our vision when we can see better by wearing some anti-glare sunglasses, okay? So they're actually they are important. What else? Oh, maybe not on like a warm day, but long sleeves are really good, just, to protect your elbows against any, grazes or bruises, or if you scrape them, okay? And long sleeves are good for protecting elbows. Then long-legged trousers are good for protecting your knees, okay? So that's why us farmers got to be really careful. Another thing is boots. No flip-flops, no high heels, no stilettos, no roller skates or roller boots or ice skates. No. Good boots, good grip. Remember on the tractor checklist, we spoke about the steps? Yeah, and we don't want like mud and stuff because that would help us slip. Well, same here. Having good boots and a good sole means you've got good grip, okay? And more so for winter, but we like to wear gloves as well. And these are like my favorite quad gloves, okay? They're so warm. You see here, you feel that? That's plasticky, it's rubbery. So that gives me great grip as well when I'm on the hand. So I'm warm and I've got good grip, okay? Especially for those early mornings when I've got to go and bring food out to horses in a far off field and I'm freezing, okay? Now, do you remember on tractors, right? One seat, one passenger. Same with quad bikes. You've got one seat, okay? On a quad bike, it's only supposed to be one person, okay? No passengers. Now I know you're all saying, but the seat is huge, there's loads of room. No, that seat has to be long to help the driver, okay? Or rider. I actually asked the question once, is it a quad driver or a quad bike rider? I think it's a rider because there is no cab, but the jury is totally out. But the reason why that seat is so long is to help us adjust and move and shift our weight when we're on the quad bike, when we are using it. So when we're going uphill, we're sliding forward. When we're going downhill, we got to slide back. And that keeps the quad balanced, okay? It doesn't tend to rock and worse, tip over. So by having somebody else on the quad bike means that you don't have good weight, you don't have good balance, and you're more likely to tip or flip it over, We don't want that happening. Quads are very dangerous. We absolutely need them on our farms, but they can be super dangerous. So we got to make sure we know what we're doing. Okay. Thank you, Noel. Say bye, Noel. Thanks for all your help. Remember the ATVs: age, training, visual inspection, safety equipment. I don't think these guys know their ATVs. What's going on here? We got passenger, no helmet. They seem to be in a bit of a summer holiday, so I'll kind of let the shorts go. That's okay. But they seem to have runners on, which would give good grip. But as for this, absolutely no. And over here, well, they have helmets on, but look, there is a passenger, and looks very young too. So is that allowed? No. Look, the daddy is having to sit all the way back, which means if he had to go up a hill, he'd be off balance. And down a hill, he'd probably be pretty off balance too, because there's a little person sitting in the front, knocking it off balance. So you've got to make sure one user, because there's only one seat. Okay. Now, how do you all feel? You think you learned loads? Do you? Let's see what anybody else I have to say. Anybody else I have to say hello to? Denise O'Keefe, my pencil has no lead. Absolutely not. Denise O'Keefe, your quad is green. Is it a John Deere? I need to know. Liam and James, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, is it Liam and James? Their quad is a green. I need to know what kind that is. That's amazing. Hello to Matthew O'Regan. It's great to have you along. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Now to Matthew, to Liam and James, to Elaine, to Keen, to Tommy, to Eva, to Bobby, Clancy, to Gethin, to all of you. I've got Megan, I've got Connor, and I've got JP and Lottie in Wexford. Tommy, all of you. You're all my new AgriKids. Everybody's watching right now. You're all AgriKids. That means you're experts now in farm safety, but you got to make your promise. You got to make me your AgriKids promise to make sure you are a fully fledged AgriKid. So everybody, raise your right hand. Are we all ready to go? My right hand? Yeah, I don't know left and right. Are you ready? I promise to never go to a farmyard on my own. I promise to never approach an animal I don't know or without the owner's permission. Now give me all the number ones. I promise to keep away from all farm machinery when they're at work. Guys, if we did those three things, you know what? We'd make farms so much safer. I know farms are fun. I know there's great things to see. We learn about animals, we learn about business, we learn about science, we learn about maths. We got to remember when to be smart and when to know when we can go and when to know when we have to stay home. Okay? You can do that for me. We're going to have a much safer future on our farms, and it'll be all down to you. Okay? So, little competition time. How about that? Closing on the 10th of August, so there's loads of time. Flogas very kindly made all these webinars this week possible. Without their help, I wouldn't be able to do AgriKids, so I'm extremely grateful for them. See this picture? It's Daddy and the bowl. I want you to download and colour in the picture. You'll find it on agrikids.ie, but don't worry, I'll send it on to you as well. I want you to take a picture and email it to me. Email it to info@agrikids.ie. And you know what? If you get pulled out, you could win yourself an AgriKids Flogas prize pack, and they're fantastic. I hear there are squishy cows in there. I do. They're little stressed squishy cows. They're brilliant. And it's coming up to harvest time. Okay, probably is harvest time for a lot of people, especially around Wexford. Probably a lot of harvesting happening now. What's happening in Wales, guys? Is there any combines out now? Yeah, my poor brother started the harvest on Monday, and on Tuesday it was raining. So yeah, that's the joy of it. So it's going to be a lot of maybe stress farmers. So, you know, if you are lucky enough to win, maybe give the cow to a farmer that you might know. Guys, thank you so much for listening in. This is going to be made available on YouTube very, very shortly. And I'm going to see if there's anybody else that would like me to say hello to them. Liam loves John Deere's and James loves the New Hollands. I just absolutely love that. That must be absolutely hilarious to live in that house. To Finley and Iona and Orla, Thank you so much for listening. Take care. Bye bye. Hello to Ben and Lily. Hello, hello, hello. Great to see you. Gwen and Turner, are you in Wales too? It hasn't rained. It not haven't started. Sorry, haven't started the harvest in Wales yet. It rained yesterday. Oh no! It rained here yesterday too. It was awful. We started off so well. Maybe next week, guys. I agree. I really hope it happens next week. Tommy Murphy, you're extremely welcome. Thank you so much for listening in. Guys, enjoy the rest of Farm Safety Week. It's on day 5 tomorrow, and for the rest of the year and all the years to come, it's over to you guys. But if you have any other questions, send them in to me, info@agrikids.ie. Log on to the AgriKids website, got the Farm Safety Circle there. You can learn more too. And remember, tell the grown-ups that some stuff we learned here today. You could save a life, and you can help them remember how to stay safe too. So until next time, take care. Bye-bye.